Isn't it amazing how the world justifies their wickedness? LGBTQ is called human rights. Abortion, killing an unborn baby, is called women's rights and health care. Violating the Sabbath to make money is called hard work. And divorce, what is that called? Our individual journey. After all, King Henry VIII, when he too wanted a divorce and the church refused to give it to him, he simply banished the church and started his own church. Haven't many of you done that? And got remarried, by the way. It's amazing how the world decides. As Guy said in Israel, one of the restaurants didn't want to obey the Sabbath law anymore. The kosher stamp of the Sabbath law. They want to open up on the Sabbath. They go to the Supreme Court to override God's law. A man should not marry another man. A woman should not marry another woman. Let's go to the Supreme Court and override God's law. You should remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Let's go to the Supreme Court and override God's law. In Israel, and they're the ones that God gave it to. And even they are saying, we don't want to do this. We want to be like other nations. We're tired of obeying God's Sabbath law. It's the only country in the world that shuts down their business, their trains, planes, and automobiles on the Sabbath. The only country. The one that God created. Directly. Formed it as an example to the rest of the nation. Now the restaurants are tired of being, well, the kosher stuff. We don't want to have to obey the kosher certificate. We want our own. We want to be able to tell God when, or the rabbis, when to give us something kosher or not. Because of whatever reason. Does it really matter? Why? Not so much. Not when you're fighting to justify disobeying God's law. And people do it in marriage all the time. President Bush, the first President Bush, married one woman. Married over 60-something years. President Jimmy Carter just died. Married one woman, Rosalind Carter. Married over 70-something years. What happened to the rest of you? These weren't even preachers, and they understood to stay together to the end. They married for the right reason. And they recognize it's a covenant. It's an agreement. After all, do you divorce yourself, knowing how imperfect you are? Have you let yourself down? Well, some people do. They call that suicide. They take themselves out. They're not willing to work it out, so they take themselves out of the story completely because you're not willing to work it out. You'll let something kill you because you're not willing to figure it out. And now Hugh Jackman. Oh, yeah. It's so amicable, isn't it? Isn't it nice how we teach people that divorce is okay? The actor, Wolverine. The wife, well, I felt betrayed, whatever that means. But we love each other. I'm so grateful we had 27 years together. Really? Wow. Are the children grateful? Mommy and daddy don't know how to stick it out and stay together? Well, this is a transition for our family. We are each on our own individual journey. I love these hybrid elite words, how they take something wrong, so nasty, so evil, and make it sound so nice and pretty. We're mature. We can separate from each other now. We are mature. We're past this thing about marriage through sickness and health, good times and bad times. Till death do we part. Where does this come from? No loyalty. You see, whoever betrayed whoever doesn't matter. because there's also forgiveness. But forget forgiveness. Forget forgiveness and helping your marital partner through the toughest times. It's just so much easier to wipe the slate clean and move on. You frustrate me. Yes, we do grow individually, but individually we have come together to agree collectively that we're going to honor God's contract. And God's contract might include you in it. You made a contract with God. As much as you want to throw somebody under the bus, you can't. That's why he says, don't say you love me and hate your brother. Don't give me a gift when you deprived your brother. You made a contract with God. He's forgiving you for a lot more than you need to forgive that brother for or that sister for. But it's okay. The Hollywood way, liberation, boundaries and freedom. We're gonna live within our boundaries and freedom and our integrity. And you're teaching your children. Hey, you can get married and have kids and talk about the Lord and how much you love each other. And then you wake up one morning and says, I want a divorce. Or they're fighting and scratching each other's eyes out because one person doesn't want to submit to another. Because one person feels betrayed. Well, isn't the point of love is what to do when betrayed? Would God throw you over the bus so easily as you're willing to throw each other? Of course not. He would not. He would not, and he does not, and he did not. Read Obadiah, the book. Read Amos. Just see how much, and by the way, that's called the Torah, the Old Testament writings, the prophets, yeah. That's not New Testament for those of you who think grace never existed. Read. Meditate on the grace of God and the commitment to the integrity that comes from God, not from you and I.